Cole. I own Wax Bar Lawrence downtown off New Hampshire Street, and I also own a wax distribution company called Wax Bar Distribution. And I went to Johnson County Community College. I went back to school as an adult in 2005, graduated in May of 2006 with my aesthetics license. And then I went back and got my instructor's license as well. About, I'm trying to think when that was. Haley, do you remember what year I went back for my aesthetics training? Because you did it shortly after I did.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Forever ago.
Feels like it, yes.
Yeah. Right out of school, I decided that I didn't want to work for anyone else. I'm not recommending this in any way, but that's what I did. And I just started up my own shop or my own space inside of a salon, Salon 708, with 0 clients. And I didn't get charged rent for like 3 months. The lady could not find anybody to rent the space out in there. So she just said, yeah, sure, try it out. So I started out with maybe, I don't know, 1 client every few days and just slowly built from there. And then I was there for 12 years, built up my business in waxing and skincare. I used mostly Satin Smooth when I got started and Image Skincare. And then I did some freelance makeup as well for 12 years at a little booth rental place inside of Salon 708. And then 2012, I got a job as a national educator for Satin Smooth, which used to be a section of Conair. You've probably heard of Conair. This is really awkward because I can't see any of you guys, so I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now, just so you know.
Well, we can see you.
See Haley, I'm just like, I feel like I'm in the mirror, like in the teenage days. Like, so if the boy calls, here's what I say. Anyway, that was nerdy. So anyway, I got a job with Conair, and I got trained by Conair in Stamford, Connecticut. That was the worst interview I've ever had in my life. It was a 4-day working interview, and the creator of the Satin Smooth products, Susanna DeSoto, and the education manager, Jeannie Richmond, were in charge of interviews. My interview went so bad, you guys. 4 days later, we had to give a presentation just in front of those 2 fabulous women and our little interview class. It went really bad. They didn't hire me because I sounded terrible talking, and I even cried a little, and my face was red the whole time. I was not really able to talk much without feeling like I was going to cry. So that was awesome. And my friend Marge, a friend I made with Conair, and then a friend in my class, she was supposed to be scheduled. So I just thought, okay, well, that was terrible. That didn't work out. A friend in my class actually took a job with Mirabella, and she wasn't able to do a small show in, is it Council Bluffs, Iowa? Mm-hmm. Is that okay? Yeah. Council Bluffs, Iowa. And this girl couldn't make it, and that same show she went to work for Mirabella. And so she told Satin Smooth, well, hey, Jasmine's in my same area, close by. She could drive out and do it. And they were really upset with her, called me anyways and said, hey, here's your chance. Do you want to do this show? It was a pretty small show. We had a tiny booth, but I had to teach a Brazilian class in front of a large audience, and you guys heard how great of a public speaker I was at the time. And it went great. And I became one of their top national educators. I helped them until they sold to Gigi and Clean and Easy last year. So I just tell you this weird story because we're not always going to be great at things right away. And I'm a perfectionist and I'm really hard on myself when I don't just get things right away. So I just tell you that to encourage you, because that interview that I had that went so wrong in front of so many important people really started my career. So that was, I don't know, I just kind of like that story because it was rough getting there, but that really, being able to tell people that I was a national educator for Conair and all the connections that I made, all the places I got to travel. I traveled nationwide all over. I did Brazilians for huge crowds, like 200 plus. I traveled and taught people in some of the nicest salons and spas in the US. So many great connections. I got really busy at my shop after that, and I was able to go out completely on my own and open Wax Bar Lawrence. I had about a 500 square foot studio, and I was just working on my own and still traveling and teaching and running that. And then I got so busy that I ended up being able to hire this fabulous lady, Jana. So she was my first full-blown employee that I hired. So that was really exciting. And then we were busting at the seams at my shop because we just had one treatment room. And now we're at a 2,000 square foot 4 treatment room location downtown off 8th in New Hampshire, next door to Mud and Lotus. And then backtracking a little bit more, back to my satin smooth days, those connections that I made during that time of traveling, now I'm able to reach out to all those connections and grow my business with my wax distribution company. So you just never know when or why you're going to need connections, want connections. In life, the people that help you along the way, it's really unknown who those people are going to be. So I just encourage you to be professional, do your best, make really good connections with your fellow classmates, your instructor, any employers that you might talk to, even if you don't get hired. I just encourage you guys to really be sure every connection you make is a good experience, even if it doesn't turn out the way you want right away, because you just never know. Like, my whole career has just become kind of all one puzzle that makes sense now. So that was pretty exciting. And actually, Jana, who works for me now, was one of my students when I taught at Pinnacle Career Institute. So that's kind of funny. And Jana, hope I don't embarrass you, I'll let her talk for just a second too, but she actually was, if I could have voted the least likely to ever do waxing, especially Brazilians, like least likely, it would be this one. She did not want to learn Brazilians, did not want to participate. She had a bad experience with the instructor that we had. And we'll be careful not mentioning any names because they recorded this. It wasn't Haley, by the way. Yeah, she was like, hell no, I'm never doing Brazilians. I don't have to learn this. And I said, well, what happens if you get a job opportunity where you'll have to do Brazilians? And she said, I just won't work there. So it's just kind of hilarious that And we really butted heads in class because I was just like, well, guess you're getting a 0 if you're not going to participate. So it was kind of funny that one of my most unlikely waxing candidates is now like the best employee I could ever ask for. I just hired a second employee and a receptionist, so now there's 4 of us at Wax Bar Lawrence. So I don't know, it's funny. You just can't ever guess what the connections you make are going to do. So I don't know if you guys have any questions about kind of how I got started. It was kind of a wild ride. I know Haley's done so many things as well, and it's really neat. And I think this is what Haley and I both love about our careers. It's just so versatile. You can do so many things. You can be, you can do waxing, you can do skincare, you can do makeup, chemical peels, the cosmos, obviously hair, nails, but also
Lashes, makeup. I mean,
lashes,
you
makeup.
were you were an educator for Satin Smooth. I mean, you traveled all over the place and were able to teach, and then taught locally at a school. So there's just so many different things you can do within the industry. Aesthetics or Cosmo.
Yeah. And if you like sales, oh my gosh, you guys, those companies, those brand reps for different companies, they're just begging for good reps. Whether you're an educator and you do shows, or if you're like an actual rep for a distribution company or a brand, there's just tons of things you can do with your license. So it's really exciting. Do you guys have any questions for me? We are going to do some demos for you guys today and talk about the wax that we have available through Wax Bar Distribution, because I really want to help you guys get started. Waxing is my bread and butter and a lot of people's bread and butter. It's a really low investment, and you can really make some great money off of waxing. So even if you're going to do hair and you're not an esthetician, adding on an eyebrow, lip, chin, nose, ears, barber waxing, well, people are just waiting, getting processed anyway. You can make so much extra money waxing and tinting eyebrows and eyelashes too, while you're doing their hair. So there's just a huge way to make extra cash. And a lot of the cosmetologists that I meet with, they might offer eyebrow design, but they're not very good at it. They don't charge what they should. They don't do sometimes. I mean, some are great, but it shouldn't just be like a quick eyebrow wax. I mean, you can really have a chance to design their brows and help them have that perfect brow, so they won't go somewhere else and get like an $8 or $10
brow
wax for their brows. Yeah,
right.
So I would really encourage you guys to always add that on. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? Jasmine, can you see everybody now? You can't? Okay. Anybody have any questions thus far for Miss Jasmine? Anybody? Good? Okay. All right. We'll keep rocking and rolling. I do want
to. I also worked short time at Great Wolf Lodge so I could get free passes.
Yeah. There you go. Whatever works. Whatever works. Yeah. I did want to make one comment to piggyback off what she said, though. It is definitely, I think, really important for you guys to pay attention to the connections that you do make within your classroom and otherwise, because you never know. Most of you heard, Miss Doll and I's story when we started together at Beauty Brands, and we were not friends. We were not friendly. And it took a long time for us to build that relationship to where we weren't fighting for clients and things like that. Jasmine and I never really had that issue per se, because we were at an independent salon. She pretty much had her clients, I had mine, but there was occasionally when we would share clients, a client would see her if I wasn't available, or see me if she wasn't available, or whatever the case may be. But I don't feel that there was ever really any tension or fighting for that client. It was more just, we were happy to help each other out. You know, there was times where I couldn't be there and I'm like, Jasmine, I've got a couple people that really need to come in. Can you, take care of them today? And it was nice to have that relationship with her, and trust that she's going to do a good job on my client. That's the biggest thing, is being able to have somebody you trust to take care of your client when you can't be there for whatever reason. And then you're also not worried about them stealing your client necessarily. For me, it was always, if my client sees somebody else and they're happier with their service, then that's great. They should go see that person, because ultimately you want your client to be happy regardless if it's with you or somebody else. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And I think if you have that mentality, then that only is going to help you progress in your business and have a solid loyal client to you. Because having that mentality of fighting over, I've been in different salon situations where they're fighting over clients. The clients see that, feel that energy, and they don't want to come back there. I mean, then none of you all are going to have a client, because they're going to go somewhere else, because they feel like they're a piece of meat that you're two dogs fighting over.
Yeah.
And that's not something that anybody wants to be a part of. So I'm always going to encourage you guys to be team players, to build each other up. Especially with Cosmos, it's such a bad reputation for cosmetologists, and particularly that I really encourage Teresa and Emma, you guys, I encourage you to just constantly be thinking about building each other up. And there's enough clients out there. There's enough fish in the sea. There's plenty of clients for everybody. So I think it's really important to just help encourage each other versus bickering and fighting over, well, that was my client. No, why did she come see you? Well, whatever the case may be. Oh, that's great. She likes your technique better. That's awesome. I'll find me another one. You just have to have that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, Jazz, keep going. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. And also, you really shouldn't worry about people stealing your clients, because even if Haley and I did waxing the exact same way, like Jana and I pretty much do our waxing services the exact same way, like for the most part, but the one thing people cannot steal is you and your personality. And people just go to who they like at the end of the day. I mean, I would say a majority of the time, like we definitely do have clients that don't even care which one they see, because they say, oh yeah, it's the same, which that's how I want my shop to be. I want people to feel like they get the same service with me or the same service with Jana, but our personalities are completely different. So, nobody can duplicate my personality. So I just don't worry about it. And will you lose a few people? Sure, but you'll gain another one. There's people that I know stayed with Haley, and there's people that I know stayed with me if one of us couldn't get to him, but it was just an even trade anyway. So it's fine.
Absolutely.
Whatever reason, we just connect with who we connect with. So you just have to not let those jealous thoughts go into your head, because it's fear, and don't be afraid of that, because the right people are going to love you and love your services. But yeah, I'll hand it over to Jana really quick and just let her talk really fast, because she's a lot newer. She's been in the industry a while, but she hasn't actually been working at a salon for long. So she can give you guys some really good tips too, because she's kind of had an interesting journey as well.
So I started my journey in 2015 at 45. I had been divorced for 5 years. I have 2 children that are 27 and soon to be 26 at the end of this week. So I totally moved. I lived in Southwest Kansas. My parents were living in Topeka, and I've always had a love for skincare, makeup. As Jasmine said, not so much on the waxing. I was focusing on the skincare when I started at Pinnacle, and that's what I wanted to do. Jasmine, and I'm so glad that Jasmine came into my life. I can't thank her enough. Sometimes I get a little emotional when I talk about her. So anyway, I moved. I completely changed my life. I had no job. Most of you probably know me from Kohl's. I'm human resources.
Oh my God, that's where I know you from. I kept sitting there thinking, why do I know this woman?
Yes. So I started in the beauty department while I was going to school at Pinnacle, and also worked in the jewelry department. And then I became the lead at Kohl's in the beauty department. And then I kind of moved to customer service, and then I made my way to the back as a full-time human resources person for the store. I still continue to do that. I've been with Kohl's now for 5 years. And I started working for Jasmine last May as a part-time in her other shop. And so basically, don't give up, because I went from a few shops here in Lawrence, one being Salon DeMarco, offered me a job right out of school. I trained with them for a couple of weeks. It didn't work out. So I went back to working at Kohl's, which I had continued to do anyway. And then went on to work at a couple more salons here in Lawrence. They weren't helping me. I was new. I didn't know how to market myself. I didn't know how to put myself out there, so to speak. I made business cards. I was trying to make contacts, but nobody was giving me the time of day to show me what I needed to do to put myself out there even more. And that opportunity came when I met Jasmine. Again, we had always been friends even after school. She basically gave me the tools to help me grow my business and hers. So when I got on in May, she trained me, and then we went and saw her wonderful friend Marge, who trained me even more. My Brazilians were taking me an hour, sometimes 45 minutes, which is something I said I would never do. I did have a very bad experience at school. And those are going to happen. Even the course of still doing this for the last 8 months or so, almost a year now, I still have a bad experience every once in a while. I don't want anybody to get discouraged. I surely didn't get discouraged. I mean, we are all going to make mistakes. We just need to make it right with the customer, whether that be discounting the service and apologizing up and down, you know, or whatever that is. So it's taking me a long time to get where I'm at. It took me 5 years to get where I'm at right now. And I owe a lot of that to Jasmine, because she gave me the tools. It's all about training yourself, watching YouTube videos. I watch stuff all the time, different people's techniques, constantly re-educating myself, taking online classes. As a matter of fact, Jasmine and I took one the other day that was free. There's all kinds of things online that you can fill yourself up with to help your business grow and to offer different things. I took a lash lifting class. And I know Haley knows how to do that very well, because I watched her do it when I was in school. So online education, continuing education is very key in what you're doing. Because of Jasmine and watching other people and their online services, my Brazilians now are anywhere from 20 to 15 minutes tops. It's all about technique. It's learning the right skill, and it's learning to use the correct waxes, and learning what type of hair they have, what skin type they are, as to what you use. Those all play a key role in how your service is going to turn out. I know a lot of that doesn't make any sense now, but once you start doing it, you'll start knowing what I'm talking about. So basically, I was married for 20 years. I raised 2 kids, put them through college, and then I decided to do something for myself, and that's what brings me to where I am right now. So I can't even imagine going back. I'm gearing more towards not working at Kohl's. And as soon as I get my clientele built up and we're out of this funk of pandemic that we're in, I'm hoping that business goes back to normal. An average week for me, especially over spring break, I'm just going to tell you, it tripled my salary of what I make at Kohl's in a week. Most months are double what I make at Kohl's in a month.
And tell them how many hours you work.
I work maybe 28 hours in a week. I'm just going to say, I'll just tell you how much I made the 2 weeks before before the pandemic and spring break. I made almost $3,500 in that 2-week span. I make $1,600 a month at Kohl's. So waxing is key. I said I didn't want to do it. I'm making the most money I've ever made in my entire life waxing people and doing Brazilians. Who would have ever thought that waxing somebody's vagina, I would make $3,500?
Right.
It's unbelievable.
It is.
And just adding those extra services, like when you're doing the Brazilian, I always talk my clients through it. I try to make them feel comfortable about what we're doing. And in between time, we may talk about their eyebrows and waxing their nose or waxing their lip. I know that sounds weird, but I talk the entire time that I'm with my client because I want to make them feel comfortable of what I'm doing. So just some helpful hints. While we're on this pandemic, believe you me, my phone is just in my computer, just going nonstop with educational videos on even business tips on how to enhance what we're doing. So we just started an online facial stuff. So I'm going to be doing like Zoom consultations and doing online facials by sending the client the product, and then I'm going to walk them through how to do it. Is the service going to be as great as if I were doing it? Of course not, but because they don't have your touch and they're doing their own versus you doing it for them, but it'll get them a jump start on when they're ready to come back in. So in these times, we just have to think outside the box and how we can make more money for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So I hope I was of some help. Even me being 45, I don't think, or 50, I'm almost 50, sorry. I'm starting this at 45. I mean, it's amazing how much you can accomplish in such a short amount of time. And really, 5 years to me is just a huge investment in my retirement and my future. So this business has changed my life. And of course, it's something that I love to do and wanted to do my whole life.
I love that. I love that you shared that with us because, Jenna, we have a lot of, we have a variety of age in our programs, but I love that because we do have a good handful that waited until they were in their late 40s or even 50. We had a lady that started in her 60s. And it's never too late to follow your passion and follow your dream. If it's something that, you know, you've thought about for a long time, or if you're just thought about it, you know, throughout your whole childhood and now you're out of high school and you're just getting started. I mean, everybody always, you know, there's never a great time. Like you said, you know, you were raising a family, you had a husband, you had kids. There's lots of different things that can, you know, prolong our dreams and doing what we want to do. But I love that no matter what age that you found the courage to just go in and do it. It's hard for a lot of people to take that step, especially the older we get, because there's a lot more excuses that we can come up with to not do it. But I love that you, I love your story, and I thank you so much for sharing, because we do have a handful that waited a long time to get going and to do this. And I think that was a very encouraging story, that it doesn't matter what age you are, if it's your passion and your dream and your goal and it's what you want to do, that you should just do it, you know, and no matter what age. And look, you said yourself, you're the most lucrative you've been financially, just waxing. And I share that part of my story is waxing was something I definitely did not want to do. In school, I said, I'm going to wax a vagina. Hell no. No, I am not touching anybody's vagina. And now it is my most lucrative service that I offer. It's actually the funnest, if that makes any sense. I very much enjoy doing Brazilian waxing, and, you know, and I'm with you. It took me a long time. I tell the students all the time, now while you're in school is a time to make mistakes, and you're going to continue to make them outside of school. They're just going to happen. Jasmine knows. I mean, I've had several terrible experiences throughout my career waxing, you know, random things that would happen. And, you know, you just apologize and you take responsibility and you just move on. And a lot of times that client might leave you and go somewhere else. And a lot of times they're going to stay with you because, you know, they realize that people make mistakes. You know, whatever I did, I made a mistake and XYZ happened. And, you know, you just, you know, make the client feel better about it and move on and go on to the next one. It doesn't stop you. If anything, I think it motivated me to want to do better, to perfect it, to find the right wax. You know, maybe it was the type of wax I was using, you know, or I wasn't, you know, applying it thin enough or whatever. Like, you're always going to be perfecting your skill. You're never going to be perfect. And I know Jasmine mentioned that she's a lot like me. Miss Teresa Evans here is a lot like that. We're very hard on ourselves. We're critics, right? We're our worst critic. And you want to be perfect the first time, and you have to realize that's not even possible. It's not never going to happen. That 15 years later, and Jasmine's been in this longer than me, you're never going to just have it perfected. You're always going to be working on bettering that skill.
Oh yeah, and there's always somebody out there that can give you helpful hints and tips on how to help you achieve that. So never quit watching other people's waxing techniques, because you can always pick up something from somebody else that will help you better yourself. I truly believe that that's key. I mean, I see Jasmine do stuff all the time. For all of you that don't know, Jasmine is judging at the skincare games for waxing. I've also entered myself in the skincare games for waxing.
You want to tell them what that is?
The skincare games is an international competition. And many of you can go online and look that up. It's players from all over the world competing in different categories, and I can't remember what all of them are. A lot of them right now, since the pandemic is going on, there's a selfie category, there's skincare, there's how you connect with your constituents, your customers, your clients. It's a really neat thing to look up. You can actually, I think, view some of the videos that we've done online. People are going on and, you know, showing you what they're doing as far as skincare and different waxing techniques and sanitation. And it involves a whole, Jasmine can give you a better overview than I can. It's a very cool thing. It gives you exposure, free exposure. I mean, I had to register, I had to pay to be in the games, but ultimately
But what was it, like $100?
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot.
So my bio is online. I mean, I'll have some videos eventually online, but this gives you international exposure to people that will end up making you great connections. So even if I don't win the $3,000 in the waxing category. I will make some great connections because Jasmine and I are flying out to California at the end of July. And then we're going to, I'll get to meet Kelly Baker, or Kelly Baker, the brow expert or whatever. So I'm super excited about that.
Does anyone know Kelly Baker from Instagram? She does all the celebrity brows, all the Kardashians, Lucy Hale, Shay Mitchell. Have any of you guys seen her Instagram, Kelly Baker Brows? She's probably the most famous eyebrow artist in the US right now. Her classes cost around $5,000 for a 3-hour course.
Wow.
And I get to take it for free.
Yay.
So she's one of the connections when I was an educator for Satin Smooth. I met her at one of the events, and her and I have become friends, and we're judging together at the skincare games now. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I shared with them, and I know Miss Lori Lee did too. We shared with them the skincare games the other day. So hopefully that's part of one of their assignments after this, Jasmine, is to do a little bit more research on that. But I for one, wasn't really that much aware of it and what it was exactly until you had shared it with me. So
yeah,
a little bit of my own research, and I do find it very interesting. I think it's also a great tool for people that are a little bit more timid about, speaking in front of people or sharing a video or putting their work out there for others to essentially judge, I guess. But it kind of breaks that ice. I mean, you're not standing in front of 5,000 people. You're doing, you're making a video at home or in your studio, whatever. And then you're sharing it with the world, and then potentially, you get judged and you can win money and all kinds of cool stuff, I'm sure. But what I liked about it was that you can get on there and learn just from others too. I watched a girl that was doing a makeup application.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you can get on there and just kind of watch some of the other videos and learn and get different tips and tricks from everybody. I always tell the students, you're never going to just learn from one instructor. I want people to be versatile and learn from, a plethora of different people, because I find like hugely valuable to you to learn from different things. Everybody has a different technique and a way of doing things. Jasmine's gonna demo for you guys some waxing, and she's gonna use primarily, I'm assuming, a lot of hard wax, because that's what she specializes in. That's what she enjoys using. That's what works great for her. Where you guys that have had me in a wax class know that I'm a soft wax, strip wax junkie. I use primarily strip wax. I have very rarely ever used hard wax on a Brazilian. So she's going to show you a little bit more. She's going to come in and also do a class with us face-to-face when we get back to school. And show you some of the hard waxing and different techniques and things, because that's something I feel she can educate you on certainly better than I can, because it's not my favorite thing to do. I don't, but I do, Jasmine, I have to say, you weren't on this morning when I was telling them that I played with your wax last night, and I am so impressed so far. I actually thoroughly loved your hard wax. I did.
Oh, good.
I have never done an eyebrow wax with hard wax ever in my lifetime, and I did it last night, and I absolutely loved it.
Which one did you use?
I used the blue.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Gianna's favorite is the white one, the karate. My favorite's the blue flex.
Yeah, that's what I used.
Yeah, and then the gold flex is really good for like fine hair, like the peach fuzz hair. The blue flex is super versatile. I use it for full face wax, underarm, bikini, Brazilian. You can use it for legs, backs, chest, whatever you want. It's really expensive to do legs, back, chest. We do the roll-on here at the shop, but hard wax for body waxing is like all the rave right now. It'd be great for me if you guys did it, because I would sell you a lot of wax. But here at the shop, we just do the roll-on. So.
Yeah, and the roll-on's fantastic. I used it last night. I was telling them earlier, I used it on Shannon's back last night, and then he let me do his butt. So I did his entire furry, disgusting booty and And then I did the front side as much as he would let me do, which he was a champ. He actually let me get through most of it. I even, did the penis and the balls. But when I got to a section of his balls where he felt was going to be very sensitive, he freaked out a little bit. But I'll tell you what I loved about it, just because that I think that's been my struggle with male Brazilians and being scared to do them. And I encourage my students to do them or get comfortable with them, because you can make even more money doing a man's Brazilian than you can a woman's, because you charge more.
Yeah, I charge $80.
Yeah, I think the two that I did at 708, my lady Brazilians were 60 or 65, I can't remember, and then it's $20 more for a guy. So, but anyhow, I felt like that, and I used the, I used not the honey wax, but the other roll one that you gave me, the pomegranate.
Mm-hmm.
I used the pomegranate going up his balls, and I don't know if it was because I felt more comfortable holding his balls tight because they're my balls, but I was able to hold them nice and tight, and the application was so stinking smooth. It was so thin that, I mean, it came off like a breeze. I mean, it came off so easy. So I did a little, and that was with the strip. So I did a little section with strip wax, which he didn't enjoy quite as much. But then I did a little section of his balls with the hard wax, the blue, and he didn't mind that as much. But I do feel like both applications went on smooth. Like, the balls are so thin. Imagine the thinness of our vagina. The men's balls are so stinking thin. That skin is so thin that it traumatizes me, because I feel like I'm going to peel their skin right off. And my first male Brazilian I did peel their ball skin off, and I'm sure that wasn't pleasant for him before, during or after. So I was really, really, really impressed with the wax. We had no issues whatsoever. I was really, really impressed with it. So I just wanted to share.
Yeah, great. I love the hard wax. Okay, let me tell you why, just real quick, and I know you guys are just like, want to see me wax, and you're like, yeah, whatever. But I just want to tell you how I found this wax line really quick, because that's kind of important. So I wanted to start an education company, not like a school like Haley, but just an education company. So if you've been in the business 6 months or 20 years, that you could take a class from me. And I really, really, really needed to come up with like the best product for my class. And I tested Veritin, Cerapill, GG, Clean and Easy, Satin Smooth, Star Pill, Lycon, Etol Wax. I've tried it all. And Natura Verde came out, is brand new. And it's actually formulated by the woman who was kind of the brains behind the Satin Smooth line. So she came out, and with all that knowledge she had from Satin Smooth, and came out with Natura Verde. She's working with a liquids company called Sudoku. It's an Italian company. So all the waxes are made 100% in Italy, and her waxes are just awesome. They don't break. They go on thin. They're way lower melting point than I'm used to, so you don't have the risk of burning people as much, as long as you keep an eye on your wax. Goes on super thin, so more money in your pocket. So that's kind of how I found it. I was just testing everything, and when she contacted me and said, hey, can you test these waxes I'm thinking about doing? I was like, yeah, sure. So she sent me wax that wasn't even labeled yet to kind of test it out and give my feedback on. And I was like, finally. Because Jana, how many waxes are there at the shop? How many brands?
Oh, I can't even tell you how many.
Every week she's like, oh my gosh, Jasmine, what do we have to use today? So it was a struggle for Jana too, because we were testing, like, I know 6 brands seriously.
Yes.
It was an adventure. And then this one came up and I'm like, oh, we're done searching. So anyway, okay, Jana, I'm gonna have her hop up here and I'm just gonna jump in. Can you guys all take turns? How many of you are there?
On the video right now, I think we have 3, 6, 9, 12, like about 12.
Can you have each person just pop on for a quick second and just tell me something they want to see, something they're struggling with, just something like 10 seconds, pop on and just tell me something they hope to see today, or a question, or something they need help with, or something they're having a tough time with, or whatever.
Absolutely. Miss D, let's start with you at the top. Dee Dee?
And how much time do I have?
I have us going from 10 to 12, so we've got about 45 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Jasmine. Hey, my name's Dee, and I've actually watched 2 of your videos that were on maybe Skin Games or Skin Connection or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated. I'm so excited to hear that we're getting the wax at our school and to be able to use it. So we need to get this coronavirus business behind us so that we can get back and get started again.
Great. And
Thank
so
you.
do you have anything that you want to see in particular today that you just like have to see?
Well, when I watched your roll-on wax, that was the first time I had ever been exposed to it, and I was just fascinated by it. So I'm hoping, you know, if you are going to do that, see that again. I really enjoyed it, and I'm super excited about trying it.
Oh my gosh, like toss the pot wax idea. No way.
Right, for sure. For sure.
Wax for a new esthetician can take like 3 hours. So it's terrible. I mean, you should learn it, definitely. Have Haley teach you. She probably has to. But yeah, in the real world, like, no way.
Yeah.
So,
I thought that was really exciting. So anyway, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Miss Crosby.
Hi, my name is Crosby. I'm just really excited to just learn about waxing in general because I never thought I would even do waxing, so I'm just super excited to learn.
okay.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. Miss Bailey? Bailey's a new esthetician, Jasmine. She just started last week.
Yes, I'm Miss Bailey.
Or in, like, she's licensed.
No, she's a new student. She just started with us last week.
Okay.
So I'm just excited to see everything, but I also have a question about waxing in particular.
Which one?
Nose waxing, like nose hair.
Uh-huh.
About, what was it, 3 months ago, my boyfriend was in India and he got his nose hairs waxed. And so it was good at first, and he came home and he had like an ingrown hair inside of his nose, and it made the whole side of his face like swell up. So did they wax it wrong maybe, or would it be maybe his hair growth pattern? I was just wondering.
Infection. So maybe they didn't use a new applicator. Maybe they double dip in their wax. Maybe it's just one of those weird things. Like any hair, even if it's waxed or not waxed, any hair follicle can get infected. So it's just so hard to know, was it from the wax? Was it because they used dirty implements or dirty wax? Was it because, you know, he waxed his nose and then went out and demoed a wall in a house and he got a bunch of like dust and bacteria in there, and that caused it because those follicles are wide open and susceptible to bacteria for 24 hours. Maybe they didn't seal the follicle down with like aloe after or something to protect it for those 24 hours. Who knows? I mean, MRSA lives in a lot of our noses, and we don't even know it. It's a really popular place. So maybe, you know, maybe MRSA or staph infection got in there.
Yeah, it was bad.
Nose waxing, because I have not had that happen ever, and I do a handful of them every day that I'm able to work. So maybe do it at home with one of our hard waxes and see if he does a better job, and just make sure you don't double dip or.
Yeah, I would say probably likely that it was just unsanitary
That's what I.
practices.
And did you share that video with them on nose and ear wax that I did for the skin games?
Somebody shared, I think. Dee, did you share that, or Lori? Somebody shared it. Yes.
Yeah, just make sure she gets that video.
Okay.
And because that teaches, well, kind of, it's kind of a quick teach on nose and ear waxing.
Yes, perfect. We'll make sure that we'll make sure they all get to see that.
Okay.
Victoria, did you have anything?
Not really. I mean, like Crosby said, I didn't think that I would be interested in waxing. But kind of excited to learn about it. I mean, obviously I have to, but.
Yeah. A lot of people feel that way at first until they start seeing the dollars roll in, and then they're like, all right, I'll figure it out.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, it is a game changer.
It is a game. It is a game changer. I tell them that story all the time, Jazz, because I definitely did not, waxing was going to be no part of my career at all. And, it is now definitely 90% of it. So it's definitely something that changes.
Even if you work like as an employee like Jana and you're making like between 30 and 40% plus tips, like what are your tips for Brazilians? Like 10 or 12 bucks?
Yeah, average is $13.
Average is $13 just in tips off one Brazilian, and we book every 30 minutes. Some places book on the 15-minute, but Jana and I are getting older, so we're not trying to work that hard. But maybe Jana would, I don't know, but my shoulders kind of shot after doing this 15 years. But just on tips, that's
half my income is their tips.
Yeah, half her income is her tips. So every half hour making $13, so $26 an hour just in tips, plus your commission.
Right.
And actually, just really quick, Jana, I think Jana's this is kind of funny. A lot of people think they'll make more money working on their own. Not true. Jana's paychecks are usually more than mine. Like my overhead's so high, you guys, that I think the last, 3 checks? Jana's last 3 checks, and we work the same hours, have been more than mine. So just want to throw that out there. And I pay her taxes for, I mean, she's spoiled. She does whatever she wants, works whenever she wants, orders whatever skincare products, does whatever. Yeah, I mean, not all bosses will let you do that, but just throwing that out there, that you don't always make more money on your own. And if you're not wired for it, like, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. That's no joke.
It's rewarding too. Like, I wouldn't want to work for anyone else, but
I work hard for you though too.
yeah, Jana works hard for me too, and that's also why she's spoiled. Okay, anything else?
Isabel?
So I get like super scared when I do eyebrows because I feel like I'm going to rip off an entire eyebrow, or they're going to be like uneven or something. So I just can't believe that you do like hard wax. So I kind of want to see the hard wax.
Yeah, I don't do eyebrows with strip ever. Like, you could.
Scary.
So.
I think that would definitely be something that they would like to see, Jasmine. And I demoed one last night. I don't know if I got it shared with all the groups, but definitely I think if even if she doesn't have any hair, if you're just demoing the application of it, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Kristen, do you have anything? No? Your audio's not on, Kristen.
Sorry about that. No questions. Just excited to see the process.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Cielo, anything? I just unmuted you, Cielo. Do you have anything?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Miss Emma or Teresa?
No, anything.
Okay, just excited to watch. All right, well, Jazz, I think we're just excited to watch. If anybody has any questions, just raise your hand, let us know, and she'll go ahead and do a couple of demos for us.
I just have to go home and do makeup.
Where else do you have to go?
You know me and my makeup.
Okay. I'm gonna jump right in and do a full face wax on Jana, just so you guys can see. She's really excited about it. Jana doesn't go anywhere without makeup. Like, she always looks like a beauty queen at all times. So I think the whole time I've known her, I've seen her once without facial makeup on, and that was because I was doing another video. So we're glad that she'll let me do it. So obviously you guys won't be this fast, but people get.
There we go.
Can you?
Yep.
I'm gonna try to get this like really close.
Oh God, don't get too close. Just kidding.
Can you guys see very well, or?
Yeah, that's great.
It is? Okay. Haven't been at my shop in a while, so.
You're looking for aesthetic wax?
It's right. It's like riding a bike, right? I haven't been at work for what, 6 weeks, longer than that. Did Haley send you guys the deal sheet for April and May?
I just printed them off last night. I will be sending it out to them today.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that you could tell them the deals?
Yep, it's right here.
Okay.
So in April, she's got a deal sheet here that I'll share with all of you, but it's got her April and May specials on here. If you purchase any 3 of her Nature Verde waxes, I know I'm not saying it the Italian way, but any 3 was $29.99. Regular salon values $45, so you save 33%. And then Jasmine has also extended a discount for all of the students. So anything that you purchase from her will be 20% off, just FYI. So we definitely appreciate her extending that discount for our students. She's got her pre-wax and post skincare products, which I shared with you guys last night. I'm excited to try some of these myself. So she's got her cleanse, which is micellar water with olive oil. She's got her nourishing and a soothing aloe vera with olive oil pre and post care products. Those are $8.99, and right now they're on special for $7.49. And then she's got her disposable roll-on wax that hopefully she'll be demoing a little bit of that. And those are the ones I was telling you about I was really impressed with. So they're 3 for $9.99. Regular cost is up to $13.50. So you're saving 25% on those. So they're essentially like $4 for one of the roll-on waxes, which is really, really affordable, guys.
Yeah.
And then she's got her Hard Flex bead wax. That's your hard wax. So the blue flex is what I used last night. The gold flex she was talking to you guys about. Those are a 2.2 pound bag for $24. Regular cost is $28, so you're saving $4. I will tell you that that's similar to the Cerapil that we use at the school. For those of you that have refilled the wax, the blue beads wax that we use there is about twice that amount. So I spent about $38 to $44 on those Cerapil bags. So that's a really good price. And then she's got her wax rolls, which are, let's see, purchase 2 of the 100-yard rolls and receive 1 for free. And those are $17.99 each, which is also a really reasonable price.
And if you guys don't want to buy a full bag of hard wax, you just want the can, that's in our buy 3 cans for $29.99 deal. So those hard wax also come in a can. So you can get the bag or the can. It's the same thing. Okay, so this is how we start each wax using our cleanse. If you're gonna purchase something, you've got to have the pre and post products if you don't have some already. But you always start with cleansing the face. We're gonna leave her lipstick on.
You're gonna let me feel human.
Is your skin dry? Do you want to do the oil?
It shouldn't be dry.
Okay.
I've been using our skin care or the skin script.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just got some skin scripts in last night. I'm so excited to play with.
Oh, good.
I love it, and it's made a huge difference in my face in 2 months' time. It's taken like 10 years off.
Yeah, I am obsessed with it. I used it a while back. Their enzymes and masks and their peels. Have you used any of their daily products, their cleansers and things like that?
I use it every day. I love the vitamin C serum. I love the peptide moisturizer. I use that on my décolleté. I use it on my neck. My wrinkles have diminished unimaginably. I should have taken before and afters from when I started. I can't say enough about the product. I absolutely love it, and it's reasonably priced. There isn't anything I don't use. I have everything. I use the glycolic cleanser twice a week. I use the pomegranate antioxidant. I also use the ageless hydrating serum. I don't use that one every day. I use that one like every other day. My skin is very sensitive. So these have absolutely been lifesaver of product.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Wax Bar Lawrence has all the skin script products online with free shipping, 20% off until we reopen. So,
oh, nice.
In case any of your students want to purchase any of the skincare products, they're on the waxbarlawrence.com.
And I would also like to add, I would do Skype or FaceTime with anybody on how to use the product and start you on a skincare regimen, or tell you how to start somebody on a skincare regimen, what questions you should ask, which I'm sure you're learning in school anyway. I've actually done 2 video calls so far, and we'll be getting with those clients as soon as they get the product to do an online facial with them and get them started on a skincare regimen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Jana will do that for you guys for free.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you guys. The first thing I always do with hard wax is I make a tab on my glove. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
So that's the first thing I do. You turn. And then on a full face wax, I always start out here. This wax is so easy, you guys. Always make sure when you apply your strip that you kind of go around the edge to make sure the edge is thick enough. And then here's the tab on my glove. Hands are sticky. Tab on my glove. This rolls right off of vinyl or nitrile gloves, and then I make a tab. So I took it off my glove, I flipped it over, I stick shiny side to shiny side. The dull side is the part on your glove, and see how this side is shiny? Can you guys all see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And then I'm not going to show you guys speed waxing because I think it's just going to be too much for right now. So I'm just going to do this one section at a time. But See how easy that is? See how the hair's on there? And look how flexible this is. It sets up immediately and it doesn't crack and it's super thin.
Yeah, I absolutely was so impressed with the hard wax last night. And it comes off in one. Some of you guys that have played with some of the hard wax at the school, you've seen how it breaks. You'll pull a piece of it and it breaks, right, Dee? This one just came off in one smooth piece. And I don't feel like, watch her application, I don't feel that you have to make it as thick as you do with the Satin Smooth.
Not at all. This has saved me so much money at the shop.
And the tab there, guys, what she's doing with that is creating a little tab so she's not having to flick up the wax that's on the skin. She's using that tab to remove it. So she's not having to make the client even more uncomfortable by flicking up that little tab on their skin.
Yeah, flicking's horrible. If any of your clients say I hate hard wax, it's because they've gone to someone who picks it off. And see, I saved my tab. See how I placed it? Can you guys see that?
Yep. So you're continuously reusing your same tab, right?
Yep. Feel okay? Mm-hmm. Good. And then I'm gonna move to the upper lip. I always shrink wrap the upper lip. Do you teach them about shrink wrapping?
Where you mean you go back and forth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first we'll go against the hair.
And then you come back with the hair growth.
Yep. So this just pulls it all up. And see how I'm going right over her lip? It's fine because this doesn't remove layers of skin like strips do. So you can get right on the vermilion border. Again, tab.
And how long are you letting that wax sit up? Like,
it sets up instantly. Don't hang out. Like, as long as it's not sticking to you, just pull it. Yeah, look at that. All those little fine hairs. Do you guys have any questions so far?
Everybody good so far? Thumbs up? Okay.
Same thing. You've got to go all the way like on the lip line, because the last thing you want is for them to have like a lip liner mustache and hair.
Yep.
That is not a good look. Yeah, this is so easy to use. I'm glad that I found something that students could actually use. Kaylee, I don't know if you've ever tried using Lycon before. That was my favorite wax, not for beginners. If you don't pull it immediately, it cracks like all over the place. So I wouldn't have been able to use that wax in my trainings because people, it's, Jana and I both love it, but it is, I can't even tell you how frustrating it is until you get it down. We liked it because of speed waxing. It snap sets immediately. And the problem I was seeing, like, do you guys notice with Cerapill, or maybe you do, Haley, since you have been doing it a while. Do you ever notice with Cerapill, it takes forever to set up?
Yes.
It's like I don't have this kind of time.
Right. Like at least a minute. I feel like you're sitting there for 60 to 90 seconds easily waiting for it to set.
Oh, I know. And if you don't wait for it to set, like the hair doesn't come out. I don't, yeah, not my favorite. But this, you guys can see it sets up immediately. So.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was most impressed with last night.
And if it doesn't set up, or not, sorry, if you are waiting just because you're nervous or you're new, like it doesn't matter because it won't break. With most hard waxes, if you wait too long, that wax is going to break all over you. But see how it's like instantly set up? What do you guys think?
You like?
I can only do one side.
I
really like it. Fine.
And you're gonna do her eyebrow too, Jess?
Yep.
Oh, here we go, inside the nose. So Jasmine, explain to them how far inside the nose that you're going.
So you'll want to put your thumb right here. This little crease on the nostril, don't put it further than that. So I would recommend putting your thumb right here and just sticking it to your thumb.
Does that make sense, guys? Because you don't want to go too far up into the nasal cavity. Those sinus hairs up there you need.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna try to get a little closer on your eyebrows.
That looks great. Your makeup looks beautiful.
Well, thank you. Okay, I always do 1/2 here. Her eyebrows don't grow farther than this. Normally, you would. I'll show you guys a little. I learned this little trick from an Australian wax educator. She always puts the applicator right in the middle, like where your crease line would be. Not if they have an 11 crease line, but like right in the middle crease line. And she just takes it. Well, I have wax in the way right now, but she just takes it and flips it one time. And she said that's usually a really good place to start where it should start. Otherwise, if that doesn't look right to you, this inside corner of the eye where the nose meets is normally
where your brows should start. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So can kind of see it's pretty much the same distance as this inside corner. But with Jana, hers don't grow in that far, so okay, I'm gonna save this.
We're gonna blame the 80s for that.
Yeah. Haley, do you get all your applicators on Amazon?
Mostly, yes. Amazon or that nail distribution center in Kansas City.
So this is a sandwich pick, super cheap on Amazon. Literally Google sandwich picks, and that's what this is.
Interesting.
They're like a few dollars for a whole pack. And I get them in bulk. We go through about, let's see, there's 500 large applicators in a case. And we go through, there's 10 in a case. And we go through maybe 4 cases a month. So, okay, I'm gonna have you turn this way. Make sure when you do hard wax, this isn't dripping everywhere, or you will get it all over the place. But see how this just molds? Don't do it fast when you're learning. But see, I love this because with the soft wax, if you don't get that soft wax thin enough, when you put that strip on and press it in, it can move. Like that wax can, whoop, and then you're taking off eyebrow that you don't want to take off. With the hard wax, it stays exactly where you put it. If you put it in the wrong place, you're screwed. But you're not going to let that happen. You'll work slow and pay attention. I recently dropped a huge glob of wax in someone's hair. Jana had to see what, 3 of my clients or the rest of the day.
Correct.
Of clients for me because I was reheating up the hard wax and slowly squeegeeing it out of this girl's hair. So
yeah, I've done that before, Jazz. I've done that.
It's awful.
Jana's like,
okay.
Get that thing out of my nose.
I know. I was just going to ask her, how long are we going to leave this in here?
She's like, take it out.
The cool thing about this wax is it doesn't break, so it doesn't really matter.
I knew that's why she was doing it, but
yeah.
Voila, look at that. Wow. Look at those little hairs. These are all those little unwanted hairs that we don't want.
Now I can breathe.
And see how she has just a little bit of hair down here too? No. Stick that in there.
That's what you have to look forward to when you get old.
No hair and no eyebrow.
Older. So Jasmine, you went right back into the same nostril. Can you explain to them why that's okay?
Yep, with hard wax, you don't have that one and done rule. Can you guys see what I'm doing?
Yep.
Okay, with hard wax, you can go over the area as many times as you want and you won't lift the skin.
You guys see how she's getting right down to the hairline? You know, that's what I know most of you guys are really timid about. But you have to get right down. She's right on top of the hairline. So she's not changing the shape of the arch of the brow that's naturally already there. She's just getting right up to it.
Yeah, you guys, if you screw this up, for lack of better terms, if you take this off too far, you're gonna have a straight across like Angry Bird eyebrow. You're not gonna have an arched eyebrow. So just get that hair that's fine outside of it, and anything else you can tweeze. And if you guys are scared of getting too close, like don't get too close with the wax. Just learn how to use it first. So it doesn't, you know, if you're not comfortable in going all the way close to the brow, don't. Take your line out here while you're learning and just learn the technique and then tweeze. It's fine. It's just learning that technique at first is important. Okay, so see all those little hairs? So a lot of times, sorry.
God only knows what's in there.
A lot of videos. Do we have any Q-tips?
There's some in.
I think. Okay, so when I was talking about feeling the follicle, do you guys remember that?
I can't answer you.
I didn't hear that last part. What'd you say, Jazz?
See how I told her maybe they didn't feel the follicle in the nose?
Right.
I'll show you that in just a second, what I mean by that. And we're just gonna, for fun, go ahead and wax this too. Because everybody's got those little fine hairs on the nose. And I'm just gonna show you half of the face. I promise I'll finish it later when we're off camera. But I'm just gonna show you half because I wanna make sure you guys can see the roll-on too. So much cleaner it looks without the fuzz.
Yeah, absolutely.
See how fuzzy it is over here still? All those tiny little hairs. Most people don't like hard wax because they don't think it gets those vellus hairs, but this one does.
So when you're doing a full face wax, Jasmine, what does that include for you?
I do the entire face except inside of the nose.
Okay. So you would do on top of the nose like you just did, the chin, the lip, the brows, everything.
Yep.
Okay.
And then if they want the nose, that's an extra $20. Okay. So I'm going to put the Soothe.
And some of it depends on the client too. Some of them don't want you to do the entire face. Some of them will tell you what they want done.
So I just put this on my glove. I'm gonna roll this Q-tip in it. And you're just gonna seal that follicle off to protect it. And tell them, if possible, don't blow your nose until tomorrow. That just kind of seals the follicle down. And then same on this side of the face. Normally I do this at the end, but since her skin is probably needing something immediately, I'm not gonna let her hang out without any aftercare product.
So we're putting the aftercare on because it helps to calm and cool the skin, but it also acts as kind of a barrier, closing those follicles off, right? Because they're opened up after you wax, right? They're exposed essentially for 24 hours. That's why we tell people, guys, that's why we tell people that after 24 hours of waxing, especially like the Brazilian area, that they can't have sex, they can't exercise, they don't want to do anything like that. They don't want to be in direct sun, things like that, because those follicles are opened up. So if you go exercise and sweat, or you go have sex and get that bacteria all over that exposed open follicle, what's going to happen? Infection.
Yep. What do you guys think?
I'm sold.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that looked a lot better and a lot easier too.
If you guys, also the nourishing oil, right here, had her skin been dry, I would have applied this oil before I waxed, just to buffer the skin, because we don't want to harm her skin. But her skin's really hydrated because of all the great products she uses at home, so we didn't need to. But don't forget about this if somebody's skin is dry, because you can have a lot of problems. Their skin can tear, even with hard wax, if their skin is too dry. And then also the Nourish oil that has the olive oil, jojoba, and calendula in it. This can be used after any wax if their skin's dry. It won't make them break out, and it can remove any sticky wax residue. So if you guys are using strip wax, you absolutely have to put the oil on afterwards and then the Soothe, because you do not want people sticky. Like if their armpits are sticking.
Underarms, Jasmine.
What?
Underarms.
Underarms, or like their butt cheeks. If their butt cheeks are sticking together after they leave, if you do strip wax.
It's not pleasant.
No, they're not gonna like that. So don't skip the step. Like you have another 2 seconds. So don't skip that. Because do you know how many people have said, oh my gosh, I'm actually not sticky. Like I'm coming back. It's the little things that make your clients come back.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jana, I'm gonna have you switch around for your leg. So we're just gonna do the top portion of her leg to just kind of showcase the roll-on wax. And then I'll also show you guys just so you can see what it can do. I'll do some sections with the hard wax too on the leg, just so you can see what it does. So if you guys do decide to get the roll-on wax and you don't have a warmer, by the way, you can literally get them on Amazon for like $12. They don't have to be special. Like, it doesn't matter what brand you get. If it keeps it the wax, it keeps it the wax. For roll-on. Normally warmers, that's a whole nother subject.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We can help with that another time, but just to kind of get through. Yeah, and if you don't have that, you can warm them up in a hot towel cavity for an hour. That will get it at the right temperature. Or you can even warm it up in a crock pot, like put it in the crock pot, like the smaller one, and put the lid on it and let it sit in there for an hour. You just don't want to burn them. Do not microwave it or put it like in boiling water, or you really could hurt somebody. But those other methods, just to kind of see if you like it, will work. And then you can go on the Amazon and order, or if you want like a professional good roll-on, I can send you the link from another distribution company that does sell them. Okay, so I'm gonna have you scoot up here. And okay, you can lay all the way back. So this is not showing you guys really how to do a leg wax. It's just kind of I want to introduce you to the roll-on. We just waxed her leg in another video, which you guys can see. Haley's got the link to that. It's on waxbardistribution.com. If you go to Wax Bar Distribution on Facebook, my full leg, or not full leg, the lower half of the leg is on my Facebook page. Okay, so first, do you guys know what we're supposed to do first?
Before you start a leg wax?
Yep.
Anybody want to answer that?
Cleanse. Okay, and her legs are really dry. Really dry.
As most of ours are right now.
Yep. Yeah, and she even lotioned, and they're like really ashy. What do we do if her legs are dry? What do we put on?
The oil.
Okay, so we're just gonna take the nourishing oil, and it's just like, you just need like one quick pump. And I always rub my hands together, and then I just pat them off one time on the paper just to get the excess off, and that's like the perfect amount. So we're just gonna apply some oil. Yeah.
And the oil is not going to interfere at all with the wax now adhering to her hair or skin.
It won't, as long as you don't put too much. If you put too much, the wax won't stick to the skin. But you just want just enough so it hydrates the skin and the wax isn't going to slide off of it. Do you guys know what I mean? Like if you put too much oil, when you try to apply the wax just won't stick. It kind of just peels away, kind of like oil and water will separate. But to get it hydrated, you've got to do that. Which one do you want to do, Hannah?
Use that pomegranate. It's already open.
Oh,
It's at the back.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's 20 year.
Okay. No. Okay, so these are awesome.
Jasmine, we lost your video.
Okay.
There you go. You're back.
This is the brand of warmer I use. We're gonna carry them with Natura Verde too. I've got them working on that, but this is the kind of warmer I have now. But these roll-ons are super easy. You just put them in here, you peel off the paper, and you use them. So this is a Star Peel one. It's not a great wax.
No, I like the aloe one better.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of showing you what they look like before you open the top. And these are one-time use only products. So once you peel that tape off of the top, once you peel the tape off and it has the roller exposed, you cannot use that on another person. You have to pull it out and toss the whole thing. Okay? And they say, well, what if you don't use the whole thing? Well, it was $4 and you just made 120 off a leg wax. So we're not going to worry.
There you go.
So this is the Natura Verde pomegranate roll-on.
Which I use, by the way, to do the lower half of my legs.
Yeah. And, oh, I should show them this too. Always get your roll-on started on a strip. You see how I'm getting it started?
Yeah, I made that mistake last night. Just tried to start it straight on Shannon's back. He didn't appreciate that much.
Yeah, it hurts. Okay. Can you guys see?
Yeah, it's a a little more difficult to see in the video, but guys, that wax goes on so thin. And look how she's doing a huge section. I mean, she's essentially doing her entire upper leg there.
Can you guys see that?
Once you guys learn how to speed wax, you'll put the wax on the entire leg.
Yep. So normally I put wax from here all the way to her ankle. And then I'd start at the ankle, pull all the wax. And I can do that for you guys another time. I just kind of want to show you the wax before we run out of time. So I just laid that on her entire upper leg.
So see how she's moving right along. She's not, you know, doing anything with it. She's putting the strip on, rubbing it once or twice, pulling it.
You guys should only use one strip per leg. So this strip, I will use this same strip to remove wax on this entire leg, front and back.
What'd you say? One strip, Jasmine?
Yes, one. And normally I use one strip for both legs, but if you're newer and you're using like not a roll-on wax, it gets really thick and gummy, so then you can switch. But otherwise, I use one strip for both legs. But at least try to use one strip for one leg. It's just nice with the roll-on because it goes on so thin that it doesn't build up. I'll show you guys. You guys see that? Not thick at all. Okay, what do you guys think? Sweet?
I like the roll wax.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a game changer. Definitely saves you time. It saves you energy. It saves you money. It's definitely a game changer. It beats the heck out of going back and dipping your stick. You know, you have to use multiple sticks if you're using a pot wax to do it. She's going to demo here the hard wax on it, on a section.
So we just removed hair, but I'm just going to show you anyway.
I'm glad I'm such a good sport.
Yeah, you would not normally go over this again. You can though, because it's hard wax, so it doesn't matter. It's not gonna remove the skin. So normally you'd like lay hard wax on this whole part, and then on this whole part, like do it in 2 strips and then just pull it. But I'm just showing you like how thin this goes on and how large of an area we're working on. And normally you'd put like a tab down here. Normally you'd put a little tab down here.
That's why you put a tab, folks.
It's really painful if you don't. But Janet will be fine.
She'll be fine.
I'm pretty tough.
Are you joking
What?
that it hurt?
No, I'm not joking.
Okay, so yeah, don't do that. Always do a tab, but I'm just showing you guys really quick. So see how long we're like letting it hang out? Let's just let that hang out for a while so I can show you how it doesn't break.
Okay, we'll do my knees then.
Okay. We'll do this leg really quick with this.
Okay,
Want to?
that's fine.
Live videos. But see how easy this is? You can do a leg wax in about 15 minutes, a full leg with the roll on once you get fast.
That is just unbelievable.
I don't really do body waxing anymore because I'm too busy with Brazilians. Jana does all my body waxing. So she's really our body waxing expert. How long does it normally take your hard wax that you use now to start breaking?
I mean, I feel like once you put it on the skin, and again, you have to put it on so much thicker that I feel like it breaks off so easy. I mean, you might get one strip to pull right, and then you put their next one down and it just breaks. It just,
yeah.
I've never really enjoyed hard wax, I think, for that reason. So this, could definitely be a game changer for me in enjoying to use hard wax for those that prefer it. I usually ultimately transition my.
The best for the hard wax is people aren't sore when they leave because you didn't remove layers of skin.
Right.
That's how easy that is.
And my leg's not red.
And her leg's not red.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, so back to this huge strip that would normally be a cracking mess. Do you guys know what that's from? I applied it a little bit too thin.
Yeah, you can see the difference in consistency there.
Yep. That was from being too thin. So it will break if you don't apply it thick enough. But normally, this is why I shouldn't just like do things willy-nilly, but see how like flexible that is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it will break if you apply it too thin, but it won't break if you apply it thick enough. But like, I also want to show you guys really quick in this leg and then kind of flop it to the side. If you don't want their bikini line to be sore, can you guys see what I'm doing?
Yes.
You can always just apply hard wax in the bikini area and add on an extra $45 to your leg wax and do their bikini zone in the hard wax.
It's 5 minutes.
Yeah, it takes 5 minutes. Extra 45. So 120 and 45. And if their kind of bikini hair goes over this way too, you could use hard wax for that. So usually what I do is I apply strip to the entire thing except the bikini zone, and then I use hard wax and add another $45 because I don't want him to be sore. Can you guys see what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't apply a tab, it hurts a lot, but when you do, it's fine. Getting the right thickness is just always the key with hard wax, because it will separate if you don't have it thick enough. So I'm kind of glad that happened, so you guys can see. If you get a really, really, really thin edge, you'll lose it. Okay, so we're just doing this inside area.
Jasmine, with the hard wax, because I teach them not to go over the tendon there.
Yep.
With the hard wax, can they go over the tendon, or should they still do the upper part and then go below the tendon?
We still do the upper and lower. Some people do, I'll show you another technique that people do. I don't do my shop, but you could. Some people do this whole area. You see this a lot if you work at like European Wax Center.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shrink wrapping it and applying it to this whole area. This is not what I recommend, but this is how they do it at European Wax Center. Yeah, so let's do it on Gianna. She's loving me right now. But see this whole thing? The only way you can get away with this is if you pull the here. And if you're not experienced, like knowing where that is exactly, it's not going to work out for you, and they're going to get a huge bruise right here.
Yep.
She doesn't, because I use this all the time. But if you don't know how to pull exactly to the tendon like I just did, you're going to bruise them. So I don't even play with that because I don't want to have an accident. But if you have to, like you get a European Wax Center, and if they tell you to pull that all in one strip, please remember that I told you guys to do it this way if you like have to do it because you work for like a big chain like that. Do you guys have any questions at all?
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
So like with the face, say somebody deals with a lot of like acne, like have a lot of acne issues. Can you still do like a full face?
You can with the hard wax, not with the strip. You'll break them open.
So
Okay.
what if they have an active pustule or something cystic or a open pustule? Would you go over that?
The teacher answer would be
You cut out.
real life, maybe.
Okay.
Just depends. I would say no to you guys. Yeah, because if you don't have it properly oiled so the wax just kind of skips over that lesion, you could really pull that lesion open. So it's not the best idea. If you have a lot of experience and know you can like put enough oil to kind of like, what's the word?
Create a little barrier.
Cream on it. Yeah, to create a little barrier. I would definitely not suggest that. And the textbook answer would be no.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a question. I haven't learned about like the sensitive areas in the legs. Is it just like that one little spot you were showing us where it's sensitive?
Like the tendon area, Teresa?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, obviously inside the labia gets a little bit more sensitive, but for the leg itself, usually it's just the tendon area.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you say, Jasmine?
Oh yeah. Also, there's a lot of, we'd have to go into like full leg wax theory to answer this, but like areas that you don't want to go over is this tendon, and like you want to split this whole section and this whole section because it goes all the way across, and they can bruise anywhere from here to here.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to know, how like far, if it was just a small area.
Yeah. Well, your tendon goes all the way across your leg.
Yeah. And then on the knee, you really want to try to get like this lower part separate from this top part. Like, don't pull a strip like this because they can lift right here on the knee. And then on the lower leg, I know you guys can't see, but you're gonna wanna go, you never wanna put wax over the whole sitting bone. You wanna split it in half.
The bone that's going down the front of the leg you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you wanna split that into sections, and Haley will go through that all with you in your class.
I do have another question. As far as cosmetologists, do we actually get to like, is there only certain things we get to wax, or are we like
wax everything?
Teresa, you can wax any part of the body that you want to.
Yeah.
The problem is with most schools, they don't teach cosmetologists anything but facial waxing. That's not how we do things at Elegant Design. So you'll learn full body waxing. You can learn Brazilians, you can learn leg waxing. Now, when it comes to if you have a client that requests you for that service, then you're obviously going to be able to do that service. But if somebody just calls in and asks for a leg wax, that's going to go to the esthetician.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know what your rules are at this school, but man, while you have an instructor that's so experienced, like try to get people scheduled for the things you need to work on. Like, it's your responsibility to get models, not the school's. This is your education, and you need to be getting your friends and family and posting stuff on Facebook to try to get models.
Yeah, to get the practice. I mean, I think we do a pretty good job. Our students do a really, really good job for the most part. Jasmine, we do a social media contest where we give them prizes and stuff for who posts the most. But I think we really haven't had an issue with that. Of course, we were just starting to get into the spring and summer, right before we all got booted out. But I think they've all done a pretty good job of getting their own people in. That really hasn't been a big issue at our school, but there's certainly a few of them that need that encouragement that your guys's your future, your education that you receive at our school is really ultimately in your hands. I mean, it's only our job to educate you and to give you all the knowledge and tools that we can. But when it comes to your education and how successful you are with the different things, guys, it is in your hand to make sure that you're bringing in people. If you're just sitting around and it's a practical day and you don't have anything, then you should be on the phone calling every friend or family member you got saying, hey, come in, or getting out on Mass Street and handing out your card and trying to get somebody off the street to come in. I mean, you ultimately have to take that into your own hands and get people in the door for you to practice on.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have any other questions at all?
Anybody got any other questions for Miss Jasmine before we hop off? Dee, got anything? Nope, Dee's just ready to get her hands wet and play.
Yep, and if you guys want to place an order, I can Haley will send you out the flyer, but I can, usually that deal is only for licensed professionals, but I'll sell it to you guys if you want to practice at home. And I'd recommend getting the Cleanse, the Nourish Oil, and the Soothe. And then, of course, I'd get some roll-ons to play with, some strips. Applicators, I'd order on Amazon. Don't buy them from me. They're too expensive. And I would definitely encourage you to get a few of the hard waxes. There's 3. So I would definitely encourage you guys to get those to try. And if you want a pot wax to try, I like the pomegranate one a lot.
Yeah, that's the one. I used the pomegranate last night. They also have a lavender wax that you guys are familiar with. We've used at the school several times. That's the purple lid. And they have the honey wax, which is what most of you have used at the school, whether you're upstairs or downstairs. We use a lot of honey wax there. So she has a pink cream wax, the lavender wax, the zinc oxide, which we also have used at the school, which is better for more sensitive skin areas.
Yeah.
Your honey wax, and then for her hard wax options, the gold flex, the blue flex is what she used today. That's the one I used last night. I was super flippin' impressed with. And then is it Carite? Carite Flex Hard Wax. What skin type is that good for?
Gianna she uses it more than I do, but that's her favorite. My favorite, the blue flex, and the gold's really nice for like really fine hair, but the Karate is great for like thick, dark, coarse, curly hair. So
okay.
if you've got an African American skin type or a redheads are so hard to wax, you guys.
Yes.
I am not kidding you. I'm like the worst person to ever wax. You can ask Jana. But like every redhead that walked in my door, especially ones that don't wax on a regular basis, they still make me sweat. They're so difficult. Yep. So that's when I would use the Karate wax. But really you can use it on anything. I just wouldn't use the Karate on like the fine hair on the face. It's not going to pick it up. If you had like coarse eyebrows or coarse chin hair, you could use it. Underarms, it would be good. Bikini, Brazilian. Okay. And then the blue film's kind of more versatile. Like it might not pick up those super, super coarse curly hair types, but for most people, it works great from like fine to coarse, but not super coarse. And then the gold is really for fine hair. Is what I've found it works best on. And then as far as the soft waxes go, if you guys do love soft wax, what Susanna did was she took those kind of satin smooth staples and she thinned them down and lowered the melting point. So you guys know how like thick that lavender and zinc oxide wax is, and even the honey, it's way too thick. Like you're gonna lift people's skin with it. That's why I never used strip wax, and I got good at the hard waxes because that wax was lifting my clients because it's just so thick. So what she did is she took those, made it a lower melting point so you weren't burning people, and she thinned them way, way down. So those go on super thin, like that honey wax. The honey wax from Notori Verde is really good. It goes on super thin, and so do the other ones too. So
awesome. Yeah, I've been really impressed. I'm going to play around with them a little bit more today. We're definitely going to get some for the school. And I know a lot of the students, some of them have some waxing supplies at home they've been kind of practicing with, but those that don't have any waxing supplies at home, if it's something that you feel you're going to get into or that you want to practice more with, again, everything that we do in school, guys, you guys have to still be practicing those skills at home as well. So we've talked about that. Most of you should be at some point, whenever, money's available, be picking up a little bit of supplies, anytime you can, whether it be some wax, some facial supplies, a bed, a steamer, whatever, so that you have some of those tools to use at home and consistently be practicing with. That was the first thing in school that I got was a wax pot, and wax supplies to start practicing, because that was my least favorite thing. I knew it was going to take a lot of practice. And it does. So anyway, Jazz, I'll definitely share with them the deal special and get them the info. Then can they order, if they want to order, do they order that? It's right here at the bottom. So they can order online or they can call you directly?
Yeah, to get the deals on the deal sheet, it's actually less expensive than 20% on for April and May, and then I'll give you guys a 20% break as students, like until you graduate. But right now for April and May, those deals are even less than 20%. If some of them aren't, I'll still give you the 20, but I'm pretty sure I calculated and those are all more percent off than the 20. Also,
Right.
I want to mention real quick, if anyone orders wax from me and you can't afford a wax pot right now and you want to buy like 3 of the cans or 6 of the different cans or whatever, I have probably enough wax pots to go around for your whole class that they can borrow and just return to me when they can afford to buy a actual warmer.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And then the wax
And I
warmers
can
for the.
And if you guys live in Lawrence or kind of like within 30 minutes, I'll deliver your products. I'll just hand deliver them for free. I'll sanitize everything, wear gloves, and I can just drop them on your porch for you.
Yeah, she literally showed up at my house with gloves on and all suited up. But yeah, Jasmine, that's awesome. We appreciate it so much. If nobody has any other questions, we're gonna let Jasmine and her guests go. Jenna, thank you so much for being such a good sport. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for hearing.
If you guys have any questions at all, we'll give you, Jana and I both, we'll give you both of our cell phone numbers. So text or call or whatever, we're here for you guys too.
We appreciate that so much. Thank you guys so much for sharing your stories and your experience.
Guys.
Thanks, Jasmine. Everybody stay on.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Everybody stay on for just a hot sec there, Jazz. We'll let you go. Perfect. Okay. So everybody show your faces for just a sec here. All right. So everybody get some good stuff out of that, you feel like?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Good. Good. Jasmine is definitely one of the few people that I trust with my class to really teach you guys sanitary practices. I mean, there's a lot of people that can wax really well, but don't do it sanitarily. So she's one that will definitely come in and teach you guys a class. And I could not be in the room and trust 100% that she'll teach you properly. So, and she's excited to share her knowledge. That's just who she is. So she's going to be one of those people that you want to have in your back pocket. For anybody who is interested in getting into waxing eventually, you know, she has already said she'll bring on one of my students, you know, as long as I give a good recommendation, she'll bring one of you on when you graduate. So just utilize her and her knowledge. And she, like she said, she'll share her cell phone with you. She'll always be there for you guys to ask questions if you want to go over. She'll practice with you. She will definitely be somebody that you'll want to keep in your back pocket there to have that relationship with. So she's an educator too. She loves sharing her knowledge, loves helping people get better at what they do. So so we appreciate that. I will share all the info with you guys. I'll post it on the page. If anybody has an emailed version of this, let me know and I will try to scan it and email it over to you, or I'll have Jasmine email it to you. And then it's not something, I know everybody's tight with money. This isn't something we're trying to sell you or push on you by any means, guys. This is just something that I feel especially better about last night after being able to play with it. I do think this is a great wax line. It's very comparable in price point. So, and the fact that she's extending the discount to you too makes it even cheaper. So I think it's something, if you obviously want to purchase some wax supplies and things at home, this would be one that I would recommend. So, and the fact that she just extended some warmers is fantastic. She can throw me a couple for the school. We need a couple more. So I'll give you all the information. If you're missing something, message me. I'll let you know. And I just wanted to say real quick, I was going through yesterday. For some reason, I'm still not getting direct messages. So if you direct message me and you don't get a response from me within 6 or 8 hours, guys, text me. Because I had a couple students waiting on a response, and you probably feel like I'm being an asshole not responding, but I just didn't see you. It's not coming through for some reason. I have to go in and click on your name to find your message. So if you do send a direct message and I don't respond within a reasonable amount of time, guys, text me whatever you need to know, okay? I don't know why that's happening that way. I'll see any messages that you guys put in the chats, but I'm not getting the direct messages for some reason. So
weird.
I just wanted
I can barely hear you. and you were gone for like about 30 seconds.
Okay. I was just saying, if you direct message me to text me if you don't get a response.
Okay.
Yep. Because for some reason I'm having trouble getting those. But all right, well, hope you guys got something out of this. I'm going to post more videos and things throughout the day. I also did a dermaplaning demo last night, so I'll share that video with you guys as well. So kind of be paying attention to those coming through over the next day. And then I have an assignment that I'll post here after the meeting. Other than that assignment, I want you guys, obviously a lot of you don't have waxing at home, so it's not going to be that you have to wax somebody or something, but I want you guys to work on the assignment to the best of your ability, and then just focus on the wax chapter within your book. So Cosmos, I believe it's 22. Estes, I believe it's chapter 11. In the fundamentals book. So I want you guys to focus on that chapter over the next couple of days. And if you've got any questions, just holler. But I'm going to keep playing with it and posting some videos so you guys can see some different. If there's a specific area that she didn't cover today that you want to see, like an underarm, that might be a challenge because I have all men in my house, but I can probably get Cinnamon to come back and do an underarm wax. But if there is a particular area that you want to see, shoot me a message and I'll figure out how to demo it for you guys. Or I'll have Jasmine hop back on with her lady and do a demo of an area that you guys see.
You can always use me because I'm close.
Yeah, there you go, Teresa. Okay, so any areas that you want to see, let me know. If you haven't, if you don't see it posted on the videos today, like I said, I did a back last night, I did a nose, I did brow, I did lip, I did butt and front area. So I'll post what I am allowed to post from the man. And then, yeah, if you guys got any questions, just holler. Otherwise, everybody have a fantastic Wednesday.
Okay, see ya.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.